Today we are going to learn about .NET development concepts. So there are some topics we are going to cover in the development concepts. So there are 4 topics I have chosen for part 1. Async and await, why we are using, for what reason we are using that, and dependency injection, unit testing, and environment configuration. What we are going to see is like why and where we are using this. So first part we are going to see about async and await. So we all know async is asynchronous and there is synchronous and asynchronous. Everyone knows the difference between the asynchronous and synchronous. There will be no blocking asynchronous operations. Means async and await will be using mostly in the database call. The purpose of this asynchronous is like it will not block any of the main thread. For example, if you are using a synchronous operation, if there is a delay in the data recovering, we need to use continue with or callback function to get the data back. But when it comes for asynchronous function, it will not block any of the thread, and it will not block the main thread, but the front end responsive will be faster. So that is the thing they have mentioned here. Thread efficiency is in web servers and improves application responsiveness. It will not wait for the operation to happen. It will asynchronously run the application, so the responsive is very high. Let's go to dependency injection. What is meant by dependency injection? What is the purpose of dependency injection? There are 3 types of dependency injection there: transient, scope, and singleton. In singleton, there will be a single instance will be created across application. Whoever the user comes, whenever the user comes, if 10 user comes, the single instance will be created. But when it comes for scope, one instance is created for one HTTP request. For transient, it is a purely new thing that for every request, if the user request for the 1 API or 2 APIs or 3 APIs request, the new instance will be created. This is the example how we are going to use the dependency injection. Build.service.add singleton. What are the interface and service? Let's move to another topic: unit testing and environmental configuration. These 2 things which is most important we need to know about. Unit testing. Unit testing is the main thing for your application to develop. We need to write unit testing for all the APIs which we provide. The purpose of unit testing is like, if you provide the unit testing, you can test it manually. Before the deployment, we can check whether the APIs are working as expected or not. Detect bugs early in the development stage itself. So it is very useful for the developers to identify the bugs and the development criteria, everything has been done or not. Enables confident in refactoring. We can have refactoring our code, like one of the user or one of the developer has written some code. In what you have written in the code, one of the developer is working on that. If they affect the method or not, we can able to check it whether our method is working perfectly or any other error comes, we can check it manually itself. That is the purpose of unit testing. We can have clean code. This is the way we are going to write a unit testing. There are different types of unit testing are there: NUnit, XUnit, and more things. We will use mock data for unit testing purpose. And next concept we are going to learn about the environmental configuration. What is the purpose of environmental configuration? What is the use of environmental configurations? So here we can see development, staging, and production. This is the 3 purpose of development, staging, and production is the 3 purpose of environment variables. So here there is in app settings we have some connection string to connect the database. So if you need development database, you need to change it manually without environmental configuration. I'm telling about it. if you need to connect the development database, you need to deploy it again, the code. So if you need to connect with the staging database, or the code need to push into the staging development, you need to change the app setting URL of connection string URL of staging, and you need to deploy it again. So when it comes to production, same process will be happen. But when we do this environmental configuration in development, staging, production, like I have done it in the Azure, so I got some knowledge about Azure development things, environmental labels. If we change in the Azure itself, it will automatically change into the app setting thing. The development change will be development URL, development connection string will be provided. Staging URL, staging connection string will be provided. For production, same as well. So the deployment process and the time will be reduced. So if once we configure, so we won't need to configure again and again. So it will increase your productivity. This is the purpose of environmental configuration. Thank you for watching the video. For the next topic, we are going to provide a part 2 video. We can see. Until then, bye. Subscribe to Ajmal Tech channel. Thank you.